we'll kick off. I'm glad when I heard that you guys have done UI UX. So we are going to use what you guys have done to practice as we go on. Confirm if you can see my screen.
Can see it, sir.
Okay, is there anyone that cannot see my screen? All right. So today we'll be learning mastering HTML from the scratch. So I believe some of you must have wondered how websites, applications, mobile app, a second. I need to off my video, my camera, so that my network will not be poor. Okay. All right, are we together?
Yes.
All right. So today, this is what we'll be looking at in detail. So these are some of the things we are going to cover. So get your writing materials ready, and at any point you have question, just on your mic and ask your question. I'll attend to that immediately. All right. So what is HTML? What is HTML? What is this HTML all about? So HTML is just a markup language, a text markup language. So H there stands for hyper, while T stands for text, and M stands for markup, while the L is a language. But please don't mistake HTML to be a programming language. It's not a programming language. Rather, it is just a markup language. All right. This HTML structures how your web content looks like. Now, when you are browsing, you see a lot of things on your browser, those things that you are seeing, they were built with HTML. HTML is just like a foundation that holds your building, right? That is how it looks like, or that is what it is. So it's like a skeleton. Just imagine a skeleton now with bones, and later you start seeing flesh on that skeleton and all. And then when you rub a cream on your body, you start shining. So the HTML in your body is that skeleton, right? And this is what HTML is. So you cannot do mobile development or web development without having a deep understanding of what HTML is. That's the foundation. All right. So now let's look at the structure of HTML. The skeleton I've been talking about, this is the skeleton. This is the structure. We're going to practice this later. So we have the doc type HTML, which tells the browser that this markup language that is coming is HTML. Which type of HTML? HTML5, because the one we are learning now is the latest version of HTML. So, and the latest version is HTML5. So, and this HTML5 is the only one that you are going to see this doc type, telling the browser the doc type that you are seeing is HTML5, the latest version. So what does this do? So what it does is that it tells the browser that the file is written in HTML5. That's the latest version of HTML, as I said. Without it, browser might switch to a different mode, like quick moves and all, which can cause a layout board, bugs. Like your browser will start malfunctioning, and you'll be like, what is causing this issue? Without, if you don't append this, right, your browser might be reading a different thing. All right, moving on, we have this HTML. So this wraps your entire web. This HTML now wraps your entire web. Everything from the beginning to the end of everything that will be showing on your web, this HTML wraps it. So we have the head, and what the head does is that the section contains the metadata, like informations about the web page, and so on. So we are going to practice all of this, and I will explain more because there are a lot of things. There are some things rather that are not in it. Like this HTML supposed to have a language telling the browser this is English or US English, depending. But when we go into practical, we'll see all of that. So we have this title. So this title shows the title of your app. You know, on your browser, when you check your browser, okay, let's quickly switch and see this. Let's see. Uh, can I see something? Please confirm if you are still seeing my screen.
Yes.
Yes, we are seeing it, sir.
All right. I want to quickly show us what the title is. So can you see this? Can you see something like N-tweets
Yes,
here?
sir.
Not N-tweet.com itself. So that's the title of this application. So on your own, when building, you have to include the title of the app you are building. Okay. So we have the body, and this body contains everything that will be displayed on the screen on the web. Everything, anything that you want your users to see on the browser, that is going to be rendered inside the body. Just like the way we have hello world, this is my first page. These two are the only thing that you are going to see on the browser. All of these things I've been talking about, the HTML, the doc type, you are not going to see them, but the only thing you are going to see is this hello world, and this is my first HTML page. Like I said, we are going to do them practical. All right. HTML elements and tags. So HTML elements and tags. Now, when we say tags, tag is this. Can you see this P here? Can you see this P where my cursor is?
Sir.
Yeah. So this P is inside a tag. So we can call this now a P tag. And P means paragraph in HTML. P means paragraph. So anything inside this less than sign and greater than sign is called a tag, right? It is called a tag. So this is a P tag. If H is inside, you call it H tag. Anything that is inside this greater than and less than sign is called a tag. And it must be closed. So this is the opening tag, and this is the closing tag. So this text here is what we call the elements. This is the elements. Why this is the tag, the opening tag and the closing tag, and this is the element. Are we together? Any question? All right. So now we have in HTML, we have headings and paragraphs. So in HTML, the heading starts from H1 to H6. Like you can see here, we have the H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, H6. And H1 is the highest. It's very bold and big, followed by H2, followed by H3, just like that, in descending order. Then we have the paragraph. Paragraph remains the same. You can have as many paragraphs as possible. So H means heading, heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, heading 4 to heading 6. And this is H1 tag, H2 tag, P tag, and these are their elements. Now, this leads us to what we call lists in HTML, lists. And we have two types of lists. We have the unordered list and ordered list. For instance, you want to make a list that you want to go to market to buy, let's say, foodstuffs, right? I know everybody here eats. So, and you don't want it to be, you just want to write it like you with, let's say, dot, maybe dot bread. I'm going to buy bread. Dot. I want to buy rice. 10 cups of rice. Dot. 10 cups of beans. The way you make your list if you want to go to market. Now, HTML has a way of doing that. So if you don't want it to have number, it is called unordered list. So first, you have to declare a tag UL. This UL means unordered list. Now, inside it, you wrap it inside. This is going to be a parent. By the time we start practical, I will explain what parent and child means. So this is going to be a parent holding the list of your items that you want to buy in the market. Now you is telling the HTML that this is an ordered list. So it is an ordered list. Fine. What type of an ordered list, or what is going to be inside that my unordered list? First, HTML already understand that since this is your browser already understand that since this is an unordered list, then it's going to be dot. So what are the list of items that you want to buy now? Now you now declare another tag called li. Li means lists. Now I can buy apple, list dot one, apple, second one, banana, third one, bread, and so on. That's how you create your list. And we have the ordered list. Ordered list is just the same way this unordered list is. The only difference is that ordered now is going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and so on, depending on the number of items that you have. That is what list is all about. We have links and images. Links and images. How do we put links in our HTML? And how do we put images? Sometimes you see images in a website and you'll be wondering, how did they come up with this? So in links, if you want to attach links, you declare what we call anchor tag. Remember, I've explained what tag is. A means anchor. A means anchor. Now you declare this href and put the link. Now, on your browser, what people are going to see is visit example. They're not going to see this link inside there. They're not going to see the link, but what they're going to see is visit example. Once they click on visit example, then it links them up to wherever. So that is that about anchor tag. Then we have image. Image in your HTML to display it on your browser. So you use this tag, img tag, to add your images. So you can declare the width, the height, alt. So I don't want to talk about these, but we'll still get to know the reason why we have this href, this src, alt, why they are inside a tag. We'll still get to that point before I explain. Okay, so next we have is a table. How do we create table using HTML? First, you declare the table so that HTML will understand that, oh, I'm trying to create a table. When you declare a table as the parent, you now have the table row. Table row, when you are creating a table, you have what they call rows and columns. So rows are the horizontals, the horizontal. Why the columns are the verticals. So now first you declare your table row. Inside that your table row, what and what do I want to have in each of the rows, right? Now the head here you are seeing is going to explain what the column will be. So your first column is going to be name, Your second column is going to be age. That's what your table head is going to have. Table header rather is going to have in each of the rows. So your second row now, which will be the table data, will now have, since we are declaring name first, is going to have John. What is the age of John? 25. We can declare another one, call the person Michael, the age of Michael. So we are going to see all of this. So we talk about form here. So form, I know that most of us have filled form before. So how do we create forms using HTML? You first declare the form so that HTML will understand that what you are trying to do here is the form. Now, the form should have a label to tell the user, the person that wants to fill the form, oh, this form, this particular input field wants me to put my name, either my first name, last name, surname, phone number. That's what the label is all about. Now we have the input. This input is what will create, this input tag rather, is what will create that field where you type in your text or number. That is what the input is. Then you have your button. When you click the button, it submits the form. We are still going to see all of this. Okay, we have what we call semantic HTML. So in HTML5, you write your HTML in semantic order. You don't write it anyhow. You write it in semantic order. So this semantic order is first your header, you have your nav bar, you have your main, you have your section, and you have your footer. So when you are creating your website or your app, your web app must have a header. Even your mobile app, if you are, I know that some of you will be entering into mobile app very soon. So you declare your header, it must have a header, then a nav bar, as the case may be though, depending on what you are trying to develop. Then there will be a section called main section, there will be a section called section, and there will be footer. So footer, okay, let me quickly show us this on the browser, what navbar and footer is and how they look like. Okay, we'll have something like this. So can we see this? Can we still see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So when we say navbar, this is nav. This thing up here. Here we have home, about us, service. That is called nav. When we say footer, this is footer. I know we are familiar with all of this. We used to see all of this. So this is called footer, and this is called nav bar. So the header can still be something like this, rather though it is called hero section. So you can have your main section somewhere and you have other sections. This can be a section on its own. This can be a section. You can name it section 1, section 2, section 3, and so on. Okay. Multimedia. How do you add videos to your website or audios? So the same way you call in your images is still the same way. First, you have to declare a video tag, add controls and the source. Then you upload your video. Same thing goes to audio. HTML attributes. If you remember earlier when I was explaining anchor tags and HTML and images, I said I will explain what href means and src. So they are called attributes. Attributes. So you must know the tags that has attributes so that you add their attributes. So for instance, anchor tag for links has what we call href attributes. This is called the attribute. Target here is called attribute. SRC here is called attribute. This alt here is called attribute. Anything inside the tag is called an attribute, but it must be an attribute that HTML can be able to read and say, yes, this is HTML attributes. So what this does, we can see there's a new thing I introduced here called target attributes. So underscore blank, it means that you want, when the person click on visit, it will open in another tab on your browser. It's not going to be on that same tab where your website is or your web app is. Rather, this link will open in another tab. But if you don't put this target, it will open in that same tab. So that's what this target underscore blank is. Now, this alt here, what it means, this alt attribute, this text now, for instance, if your image is broken, if you have a broken image on your website or on your web app, you see something like a text instead of the picture to be showing, instead of the image to be showing, you see a text. Now, this text is what is now representing the image. So since the image is not showing, in order not to leave the user uh thinking what is happening here, it's like this website is not working. So this text will now explain what the image is. Okay, a football person, a woman carrying basket, and so on. So that is it. That is what is it is called alternative. So once this image that you uploaded here is not showing up, maybe because of network or you did not call it well, then this one will first show up until you fix the image. So we have what we call inline and block elements. So when you are writing your HTML, you can use inline blocks, inline elements, or block elements. So which one is block elements? We have what we call div tag, div tag. We have our P, we have our H, we have our table. They are all block elements. We'll, please take note of this div. By the time we start uh building our project, we'll be making use of this div a lot. Then we have inline elements. So these inline elements are span, anchor tag, strong, italics, break, and so on. Break is when you want to break something, when you want to break an element. So you use break to break the text. So we have comments, and comments is very, very important when you are writing your code. When you're writing your code, if you want to add a comment, this is the symbol you will use to write a comment. And once you comment anything inside your code, it's not going to show on the browser. It only remain inside the editor that you used when writing your code. So you can use this comment to explain what this section is doing, so that when another person, you will not be the only one that will be controlling or have access to your code. When you start working with companies or a team, you have to leave a comment to explain what the code is doing or that line of code is doing, so that once the person comes and the person read the comment, the person will understand and start writing the same way you've been writing. So best practices, we have these best practices: use semantic tags, include all attributes for images. You have to put the attributes. I explained this. The includes alternative attributes for images. I believe I explained the reason. Validate your HTML. Validation comes in when you are building your form. You have to validate it so that users cannot put anyhow thing inside the form. Imagine where you are requesting for phone number and the user is putting his or her name inside there. So you need to validate it. Keep indentation consistent. Yes, indentation. I may not be able to explain this until we get our hands dirty. Then I will explain what indentation means. Someone should remind me about it, please. So in summary, HTML defines structure and contents, the way your web app will be, the way it will look. It's just a skeleton, the housing everything that will be happening on your web app. So it combines combine it with CSS and GS for full web experience. So maybe from tomorrow we'll be entering CSS so that we'll understand what CSS is. Though CSS is just like when you have your house, you painting your house with different colors, making it to look beautiful. That's what CSS does to HTML. All right, thank you. So we'll be doing some practicals right now. First, you have to get what we are call an editor. There are a lot of editors out there. Even your laptop has a kind of inbuilt editor, but I won't advise anybody to use it because it's too manual. In fact, you can't use it to work. I think it is called Notepad. If you're using Windows, if you search for Notepad, you see it is an editor. It can build your website for you very, very well. But I will recommend Visual Studio Code. If you don't have it, you can go to your browser and download Visual Studio Code, right? So you have something like this. You can just download it. I have it already, so I don't need to download it. So there is nothing much. Once you get to this point, you just click download and install on your local machine. Your local machine is your laptop. So when you download, after downloading it, you are going to see something like this. You will have something like this. This is my VS Code. And when you open it, you see something that looks like this. You see something that looks like this. And this is your editor. And this is what people are using to build those apps that you are using in your phone, the things you see on the browser. All right. Then, when you want to start first, you first go to anywhere you know that you can locate your folder, create a folder, and give it a name. So I'm going to give our own name, HTML practice. Oh, sorry. Okay. I have this folder. Remember, this folder is just empty. Can you see? It's very empty. Nothing is inside. So, the best way, since we are still beginners, the best way you can open this with your VS Code, you right click on your VS Code and you see, if you're using Windows, when you right click, you see open with VS Code, you now pick it to open, right? But I'm on Mac, so once I open a new terminal, a new this thing editor, I can just come in here. Since it's a folder, I come in here. From here, you can still do this on Windows. I know that thing is here, is on desktop. I can pick it up from here, open it, or I can just drag and drop, whichever one that you like. So can you see it's already inside my VS Code? So HTML, that folder is here. So any file I'm creating now will be inside that folder. So how do we do that? First, since your own will be a new VS Code, you can come here. We'll call it Marketplace. You can come to this Marketplace here and install some extensions. Like here, I have auto close. What this auto close is, when I declare any tag open, if I forget to close that tag, it will help me to close it without me disturbing myself. We have bracket per color. It helps to color your brackets. We'll have open live server. Very, very important. This is very, very important. Please write it down. Even if you don't install, if you did not install any other thing, try to install this live server, because that's what you'll be using to test run it on your browser. We'll have this live server. Make sure you install it. I've installed it on my own, so no need of installing again. So if you want to install anything as like this one now, live share, once I click install, you can see it will start installing. So after installation, can you see how it looks like? So that is that. I'll still drop list of extensions that we can install later. So after that, you come back, you click here and come back. Here, you pick a file. As you can see, here is a new file if you want to create a file. And this one, if you want to create a folder, that's what this one is. And this is undo, or to refresh your Explorer. And this does nothing actually. So first you pick your new file, and here, since we are dealing with HTML, we can write index.html. Right? Remember to append this extension to it. This extension .html will now tell this VS Code, oh, I want to write markup language, which is HTML. If you have a different extension here, your VS Code will be reasoning to see or to have that the codes that has to do with that extension. Like if I put JavaScript here or CSS here, it will be expecting CSS syntax. So, but this index here, you can use any name. You can call it home. You can call it practice.html. But there is a problem with that. Your first file should be called index.html. Reason is that when you host it, and if your browser does not see this index, it's not going to display anything. But on your local, when you are running everything on local, if you're having a different name here, .html, let's say home.html, john.html, fine, it will run fine. But when you host it, it's not going to run because your browser is not seeing this index. So it must have this index.html. Please take note. Now, there's something, if you guys can remember, I'll be referencing what we have here. So first, we're going to see the structures of this HTML. We'll have this. There's something we call boilerplates. So if you want to get these boilerplates, on a normal, somebody can come in and start typing doc type the way we have it there, you know, HTML, HTML. But this is too manual. You're a developer, you have to be very fast. So it's too manual. So there's something we call boilerplate. So the shortcut of getting it is you just hold your shift key and hold your on my own laptop. What I'm trying to get is the exclamation mark. So anyhow you can get your exclamation mark. On my own system, I have my shift key. I hold my shift key and press button 1. That's where my own exclamation mark is. So I hit my enter key. Then I have this boilerplate. So if you look at this structure very well, it looks like the same thing I have here, right? Am I communicating?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, good. So
Yes, sir.
okay, thank you. So that is that. In a second, we have gotten this. I can start building. So I believe I explained this before. So, and I've explained this. The only thing that was not included in that structure is this. So this is telling the browser that this is an English language. If you put US here, it will be expecting US English and so on. So I explained our header here. So, and I've explained title. I did not explain what this meta is. So this meta is just the set. It's this meta, the first one that we are seeing here, the just set. So what it does is that it sets the character encoding the UTF-8, which supports most languages and symbols like emojis, naira sign, and all. So that's what this guy does, and it ensures your text displays correctly everywhere. That's what this meta chassis does. And we have this one. So what it does is that it makes your website responsive on mobile devices. So like you can see viewports. So it's just checking the widths and the scales to make sure that it adapts. Though by the time we go to CSS, your CSS will handle this properly. But in a case where you're building only HTML, so this helps to make it responsive. Like when we say responsiveness is just like every screen, television, big screen, large screen, small screen, your phone screen, what is it, your tablets, so that it will suit in. It's not like something will be overflowing. So I've explained what title is. So on our own now, we can change this title to something else. We can call it HTML5 class. That's our own title. And you can see here that anything that is being open must be closed. If you see this head here, opened and closed tag, HTML was opened here and closed here, wrapping everything. Now we have our body. We'll have the body. The body opens here and closes here. And in between this body is where we are going to write everything that will be displayed on the screen. Everything. First, what's the first example we have here? So we have headings and paragraphs. Let's practice these headings and paragraphs. So we have heading H1. We'll call it H1 in small letter. H1. So we can call it, this is my heading, my header one. Right? So how are we going to see what we are even doing to be sure that this thing is working? How? I told us to download or install live server from this marketplace. So once you have that live server, you can come in here and right click. Once you right click, you will see this open with live server. You run it. So it has started running. So it's opening here, but I don't like to use this browser. So I can have this. So this, the link, I have this, but permit me to transfer this to another tab, please. Oh, let me use this guy. Yeah. So we have it here. Can you see that title I gave my stuff? Can you see it here? HTML5 class. That's that title. See the way it's showing. All right. So I'm going to place this like this so that I will not be going up and down. Are we together?
Oh, yes.
So whatever I do here, I'll see it on my browser here. So this is header one. Let's see how header two will be like, because we know that HTML has from H1 to H6. So we have this H2. This is my header 2. I save. I'm not going to run that live server again. Once you do it once, no need. Just anything you type, just save anything. But once you close this browser and once you close this editor, your VS Code, and come back, you have to run it again. Open with live server. So we have this. So I'm going to do this so that will be fast. Sorry. I have H3, H4, H5, H6. Can we see their differences? H1 is bigger, is the biggest, followed by H2 to H6. Do you get the differences now? So it depends on the one that you are using to build your web app, or the kind of project that you're working on will determine the header that you are going to use. So that is what H is. We have the P. Like I say, P is called paragraph. So this is my paragraph. Can you see? This is how my paragraph is. So there's nothing like P1, P2, P3. No, P is P. Paragraph is paragraph. Okay. Okay. I can have this. This is another paragraph. This is another paragraph. So you see, they are not changing anything. It still remains the same. So what next we have? So let's look at lists and ordered lists and unordered lists. Lists. So what is this thing that I did here? This is a comment. I just added a comment. So I'm not going to explain comment again. I just added what? A comment here. That's this list. So this list I wrote here now is not going to show on my browser. Let me save. You see, this list alone is not showing. I just commented it. So anybody that is coming to my code now, maybe I'm working with a team, I push my code, another person in Lagos will pick it up as, oh, this guy is trying to do lists here, right? So let my list have a title of H2 called unordered list. So first I'll declare my U. Can you see open tag and close tag? In between my UL now, I'm going to have okay, let me call it things to buy in the market. Things for shopping. Abby. Yeah. So I have this. So I'm going to make my list now. So can somebody tell me what is going to be inside there? Just open your mic, on your mic. Anybody can tell me. In between the UL, what is going to be there?
LI, sir.
L what?
LI means LI.
All right.
LI.
All right. Thank you. LI. I have shoe. I have clothes, and so on. I've made my list: shoe, clothes, food, books, and so on. Right? Can you see it's having dot 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 because it is unordered. Unordered. Now let's look at ordered. Let me name this one on ordered list of things to buy, yeah, for shopping. So we can have another one for ordered. This one is going to have 1, 2, 3. So we declare our UL. Is it UL? Am I right?
Yes.
No,
Yes.
no, OL. OL.
Who said no? Who said no? What's your name?
Abasu from Abasu.
All right, thank you. Well done. You are following. So I still have my shoes, I have my clothes, I have my food, I have my books. OL. Do we see the differences now? Yeah, going on. That is the difference between UL and OL. And these are the things you use in building your web app or your website. So we have next links and images. How do we put links? So for instance, okay, I still have my comments. Let me put my comment here. links and images. So I want to put a link. You remember I said you have to have your anchor tag. So this is my anchor tag. This is my anchor tag, my href. So let's just go and look for a link that we can put there. Let's say, let me look for W3 School. So that when they click on it, it can redirect them to this. So I have this. I can close it. I'll just carry that link and put here. So I can give it a different name. I can say, click here to visit or anything I want. Yeah. Can you see it here? So once I click this, it's going to open this guy in this same tab, this same place we are. We are not going to be seeing this again. Rather, it will take us to this W3 School. But if I want this guy to be open in another tab like this, I'll still have this guy here and I'll have another one. That is where we now put that second attribute called targets. It said targets blank. So it's going to leave this guy here and open another tab for us. And I like to use this a lot. Okay, so once we click this guy, so it has opened in another tab and it's taking us to W3 School. You see, that's taking us to W3 School. So this is how you add your link. So how do we add image? How do we add image? Let me expand this guy. So this image, now let's assume the image is coming from your laptop. You don't have it elsewhere online. For instance, had it been you have it online and you have the link, you can copy the link and put it like this, right? And it works fine. But in a situation where you don't have it at all, what are you going to do? First, you come here, either you go out and create a folder for images, or you can come here, use here and create a folder. This is a new folder. I can call it images. I save. Now I'll go to my system. Now this folder that I've created, if I go back to this my guy here, the folder I created that first time before I opened my VS Code, you see that a new folder has been created, which is this images, but it is empty. Nothing is inside this folder, it's empty. So I can go and get a picture. I can go and get a picture. Oh, I can get a picture and go back to that guy and paste it here. Either I paste it here, or if you don't want to do this, you can come in here, that in your VS Code, and click on it, paste it, Control V or Command V, then it will be here. So that one I pasted is already here. This is it. Now, how am I going to use it inside my HTML? Remember, this picture is coming from my laptop. It's not coming from a different source. Like I have a link. If I have a link, I'll just put the link inside here. So this is my source attribute, SRC. I'll just come and call it. Remember, it is called images. So I'll just put slash images slash the name of that stuff. What is the name? The name is bucket.ng. So I'm going to write bucket.png because the extension name of this image is PNG, right? I can now put an alternative name called a woman with a bucket. So if this guy is not showing, we are going to see this. This alternative will now show. Let's save and see. This is my guy. A second. Oh, this is not the one I'm using. Okay. So we can see it, right? The bucket, the woman with the bucket is here. Let's assume we are not calling this guy very well. I hope we are still together. Please confirm if we are still together, please.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
So let's assume that I'm not calling this image well. I'm not bringing it well here, right? I save. I called it HHH, which we don't have anything called HHH. We don't have any image named hh.png. Can you see what is showing here? A woman with a bucket. So with this symbol showing that an image was supposed to be seen here, but the alternative is what we are saying. Well, once I call it very well, bucket.png, it shows. All right, that is that. So that's how to put your image. Then what's next? Table. Now let's look at table. First, you declare your table. For HTML to understand that what I want to do is table, I'll first come and declare my table tag, open and close tab for table. Open, this is the open, this is the close. So I have my table row and the headers. I want to have the first name, age, what again? Okay, it's okay. So in our head, in the header of our this thing or of our table, we're going to have the first name. Column 1 is going to be first name, last name, age. Let's save this guy and see. You see what you have here? First name, last name, age. Now, next thing we are going to have, another row that we are going to have is the table data, the row data. So we have this. We're going to have the table data. Table data is called TD, right? I don't want this to confuse us. Let me remove this border so that this will look simple. Yeah, let's start with this. I think this guy is going down, so I need to comment these other ones out so that we can understand this table. I'll still open it later. Okay, so we can see this table very well now. We have the first column that has the first name, last name, age, and first you declare the table headers before you now declare another row to be table data. So all we are going to be doing now is to be declaring the table data for each row. Let's say we have another name. Let's say we have another name, another person. We can call the person Suleiman. The person's first name is Suleiman. Suleiman. The person last name is Kadi. So, yeah, I hope I get. Then the person age is 40 and so on. So this is how you keep creating it. I can have another one. I don't know. I can write confidence, trading, 50 years, so on. So we'll have the first name, last name, age. We have created our table. Remember, initially, there is something we call indentation. I told somebody to remind me. There's something we call indentation. So as you can see, my code is scattered. My code, especially this table, is scattered. So imagine someone else reading my code. The person will be like, what is happening here? So in order to make your code to look clean, there's something we call formats. You have to format your code. So for me, if I want to format my code so that it will look organized and clean, I do this. format document with code formatter. So you are equally going to install it. It will be among the list of extensions that I'll send. Can you see how neat it is looking now? So you can trace the stable open tag with this line. This is the closing tag. You see? So if anyone, once I click on the row, first row highlighted is the closing tag of the, because all these are arranged now. Then when we talk about indentation, indentation is like the gaps that will be given. Like this one is taking the indentation of 2, 2. 2. You can see T, A. So this is 1, 2. Indentation of 2. That's how it is arranging it. TR. It starts from the R to arrange. That's what indentation. Some people, their own can be indentation of 4, indentation of 5, depend, but you have to maintain one indentation. Okay. So that is that about table. What again do we have? Forms. Let's look at forms. Let's look at forms. I think our time is up. Is our time up? This class was supposed to be 1 hour. Well, let me quickly wrap up.
Almost up, but not yet.
All right. Let's look at forms. Or form rather. So how do we create form? First, you declare form tag. So once HTML sees this to know, oh, this guy is trying to create a form. So I'll declare an input field or a label. Let me declare a label. We talked about label. So I'll have my label call, let's say full name. Let me call it full name. And I'll have my input field. This is my input field. Input, the type, the attribute type that is taken is what? Text. I'm expecting a text inside here, inside my input field. I'm not expecting a any other thing apart from text. So it has an ID called name. We'll still come to ID later. And the name is what? Name. This name is maybe when you want to submit the form, what you use to submit, what it will use to recognize this particular input. That's what this name attribute is. I can even call it anything. I can call it full name. Is anyone raising hand?
Yes, I am. Please,
Okay.
I notice that's your tag, please. Form tag, you're writing from instead, and that's FROM instead of
Oh, thank you.
FO.
Thank you. Yeah.
And it still managed to run. So I don't know how. Is it I don't
Yeah,
detect
because
errors?
no, yeah, HTML doesn't detect errors. Had it been in something like a programming language like JavaScript, it will just throw red will just fill everywhere now. But now, where this guy is going to cause a problem is when we host it, you are not even going to see anything from, because your browser will not be able to read it. That is showing now is because we are on our local host. That's why we're able to see it. But HTML basically doesn't throw errors like that. It's not harsh. So thank you for observing this. I really like this. Shows that you are paying attention. All right. So this, the full name, we can have as much as possible. We'll have this, can call it phone number with the label. Phone. Can change the name to be phone. And if you like, you can change the ID. So we're expecting a text. If it's only number that you're expecting, you can put number here, especially when you are dealing with this thing, money. So this cannot accept alphabet except numbers. It's only numbers that it can accept. So it depends on what you want to achieve. We can have another one. What again? can have email. You can request for your email. No, can give it a name called email. Sorry. And email must be a text. We'll have our email, or we can have another one called dates. So with your HTML, the type is dates. The type of what I want is dates. The label should be dates. So you can see I have my dates. I can pick my date from here. This is a calendar showing 2025 October. So I can see as many as I can pick 1990 whatever and pick the date, and it displays. So all those days that I used to use in filling form on a website or web app, this is how it is done. Okay. Next, I can have my button. Let's talk about button. My submit button. I can have my button. This is my button. The type of button I want to have is submit. Whenever you are dealing with form, the button type must be what? Submit. If I'm not submitting anything, I can change the type to be a different thing. But in this case, I want to submit my form, so it's going to be submit. So the text here, you can change it. The element text here, you can change it to anything. Click to submit. Click to submit. Right, I have it here. So when once I click, I'll be able to submit my form. So don't mind the way this guy is scattered. Like I said, we use CSS to arrange all of this. From tomorrow, we'll enter into CSS and we'll see, on Thursday rather, we'll see how we are going to use it to arrange these guys, and they will look organized and cool. Okay, what again do we have? We have the semantic and all of this. So this semantic is just a way of arranging your stuff in semantic order. You're just like what you have there. You have your header. You can declare header. Inside your header, you can have your nav inside your header. You can have your nav. So your nav, things will be inside your nav. After that, you can have your another section called main section. You can have it, and you can even have sections. You can have a section inside your main, just depending on how you want to arrange your stuffs, right? It has to do with arrangements. Now inside here, I can have other things. I can have my table inside here. I have my forms inside this section, holding by a section and a main. All right. When we start building, we'll be using them. What next do we have? I've talked about, okay, audio. Just the same way we called our image, it's just the same way you can add your multimedia. No difference. I've talked about attributes, inline and block. Inline, we've been using inline is something like this. Div. Inside your div, you can have a P, or you can have you can have your hashtag and so on. So now, let me quickly explain this. Div, I always use div when I want to have some children inside it. Like these are children now inside these parents. These are their parents. For instance, I use div. You have your school bag, or okay, I'm going to use ladies to make example. For ladies, there is this small bag. They will have the big bag. They will carry a big bag. Inside that big bag, there will still be another small bag inside the big bag. And inside the small bag, you still see another small stuff containing maybe their makeups and all of that. Now that big bag, the biggest bag now, is called the div, which is the parent container. It's the parent holding all those small makeup and whatever that is inside the bag. So this can be a makeup, this can be a comb inside the bag, and so on. So when I try to explain what parent and child or children means, that's just it. You have your bag, the things inside that bag is the children, while the bag itself is the parents. Okay, we'll still see this in full, or in action rather. Now we have the block elements or block tags, we call them span. So you still use them to write. You have your open tag and this. You can call it anything, boy. Or even here we are using label. We can call one, instead of using label, we can say span. We can use span here. So just give us what we want. Right? Span. We still get our what? Dates. So what exactly is the difference between span and block? Like stated here. So when you are using a block element, did I say span and block? Sorry, inline and block. When you are using block, for instance, let's say P tag is a block element and is going to render something like statically. For instance, we have hello, right? Now, if I want to write, if I'm using another block element like div hello, instead of it to continue after this hello to write another, it moves down and write another one. If I write H here, let's say H1 hello, to show that it's block, it comes down here. But if it is inline, for instance, span, I will say span, we'll have hello, right? Another type of span that we'll have is, I have an example here. Okay, we have the anchor, we have strong and all of that. So let's say we have this anchor tag called hello. You see, it's joined, it's in line with this other guy. That's why they are called inline elements or tags. If I have another one called strong, let me call it strong. Hello, I want my hello to be strong, and we have this em. So they're following themselves, and so on. This is strong. This one here, boldly written, is strong. Why em is this one hello, like in italics. So these are the difference between block elements and inline elements. Okay, I've explained how to use comments, and what again? We've touched all of this. Validation of our input form. I'm not going to talk about it now until we start doing something. All right, who has a question? That is all about HTML. In fact, we have covered everything that has to do with HTML. Like everything you need to know about HTML. So if you have a question, you can ask your question.
All right, guys, please, if you have any question, please feel free to ask Mr. Chidi now, since we are running behind schedule.
Okay. Thank you, sir, for the class. My question is on this paragraph. You said paragraph, so I thought when the paragraph, if it's reflecting on this live server, is supposed to give like a paragraph before.
Okay.
It's right, not in the link under.
All right. Okay. Let's do it practical.
Mm-hmm.
a second. Lorem. So, but before then, I would like to ask you a question first to know, do you, in normal English, do you understand what paragraph is? Because
Yes,
I know where your mind is going is, okay, let me use this guy to explain.
yes.
This is a paragraph. From here,
To
so is to this L is a paragraph.
okay.
This is another paragraph. From this I, it is a long, this I here to this full stop here is a paragraph. So
Yes,
paragraph doesn't mean when this L is shift inside small, you know.
Okay.
I think that's what you are thinking, right?
Yes, sir.
No, that's not paragraph.
But is it possible to have something like that? A code like you have to shift it a bit.
Sure. You can have it. You can have it.
Okay.
You can have it, but we can achieve that with CSS. We
Oh.
can have it. So in our HTML now, where you have your paragraph, let's say if we put this, we'll have all of this inside. Where is our own? Okay, this is our own. So we have this. This is a paragraph. This another paragraph, a second paragraph. If I have another paragraph, this is how it will be given space. So this space here is what makes this thing to be paragraph. The space in between the paragraphs or the text rather. Just like what we have here, you can see a space showing that, oh, this is a paragraph. This, like here now, they're using two different paragraphs. The text runs from here to here, and another paragraph starts from here. Have I answered your question?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Who else has a question? I think we can call it a day.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chidi. We really appreciate your time. All right. For the students, I just believe we have understood the basics for front-end web development, which started with HTML today. So on Thursday, Mr. Chidi is going to take us again on CSS. For now, we're just going through the skeletal part of the whole thing. Then we'll see how we can beautify what we've learned today. But in preparation for that coming class, remember in our last class in UI UX, we talked about getting a design for portfolios, right? How many of us recall that? Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah. So in preparation for our upcoming class, we would be looking at those designs. Okay. So part of our assessment is not going to just be marking of names, but for next class, we are going to also project and see what we have been able to do so far. So let's prepare these two things for our upcoming class, the design and also our GitHub account and our LinkedIn account. Very important. All right. These three things are going to determine your attendance for the next class. Are we together? Your design, your UI UX design, your GitHub account, and your LinkedIn account. All right. So you're not just going to mark present, but you are going to be showing us this thing to show that you are following us. All right. So thank you once again, Mr. Chidi. We really appreciate your time. I mean, that was a very explosive lecture. All right. If anyone has any question or you Okay, Mr. Basifreke and Salisu. All right, I'm coming. If you have any question, maybe after the session, the session is currently being recorded and it's live, so you can always go through it. I think we'll just have to share the YouTube channel so that you all can go through it. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time before our recording comes up, but you can get the live session recorded on YouTube. So we'll just share it so we can go through it. But if you have any question, like you want to your questions being answered pertaining what we are doing, Mr. Chidi is live on the CPG's platform. You can drop a message and tag him, okay? And yes, so basically that is going to be it. So we'll meet again. For you to get the basics, for you to get the best out of this course, is for you to practice. If you come on a session like this and you go back and you don't practice, the truth is that you will not get the benefits and you will not get it well. Everything that he has shown you now, from creating a folder to, to bringing it to setting up Visual Studio Code and all, go back and practice them. Your text editor sets it up, create a file, index.html, create a file, start practicing with those tags, the paragraph tags and all. That is when you really enjoy this. Install your extensions, live server and all. All right, that's how you enjoy this. Okay. So these are what will make you a very good front-end developer. These are the basics. From now, the next class, we go into CSS. Next, we'll go into JavaScript. Then from next week, we'll go into frameworks. Getting the best out of it, you have to practice. All right. So without wasting much of our time is fast spent for today. I told you that there are times that will come that we'll need to dwell so that we'll get the best out of the program. All right. Does anyone have any question you would love to ask? Yes, Mr. Vasifrika.
So good morning, everyone, once again.
Yes, good morning, sir.
It's not mine is not really a question. It's more like a plea, still pertaining to dropping of the link after each class. Because for someone like me, if I'm trying to do something, or maybe I'm trying to work on what I thought and there's something that I'm trying to figure out and I can't seem to get my way around it. I usually love to go back to the recordings, the videos for reference purpose. So if by any means I can't get access to that, I feel discouraged and that's how I just back down, leave the whole thing, because I don't like getting stuck in one place. So I want to plead with the management that after each class like this, maybe latest by the evening of that same day, the link to the particular class to be dropped so that someone can always go back, and it's better if you go over it again that same day.
Okay.
I think by then you still have to retain a lot of information than going back the next day, because you forget things. You might even go back to the video and then you see something, you don't remember what the lecturer said, some things like that. Because the last time it was supposed to be 2 links that was supposed to be dropped, but I think I saw the one, but that one wasn't dropped yet. So it's just more like a kind of a plea. Thank you very much, sir.
It's noted. All right. All right. So what we've done now is sharing the YouTube link. All the sessions have been recorded, I think, from the last week of the product management week. So you can check on the classes there. Everything was recorded. So we'll just you go in there, you see from day 6 down to date. The reason is because most of the times our recording comes in a little bit late, and all the transcribing and all. but then with the YouTube, you can get it immediately after the session. All right. So we can always go through that one. You can use that one to stay updated. All right. So yeah, that's for the class records. The only benefit you'll be getting, YouTube, you can watch it, but here, just like you asked now, you have access to asking your live questions and get clarity. All right, just more like a class, but that's will just give you, just like you said, a review for the already recorded class. So I think that's going to solve the issue. Okay, is there any other question before we call it a day? All right, so we can mark our attendance before we proceed. So just like I said, we have reached day 10 and some people will be exiting the platform. Please confirm you can see my screen, guys.
Okay. Can see.
All right, cool. Okay, so today's day 10 and I think some people will be exiting the platform because we are not joking with the attendance. Yeah. Okay. All right, so there are persons you can see here that they are not present at all, so they'll be dropped and disqualified. Okay, so having said that, we are going to be marking our attendance for today. Today is week 3 and first day for front-end web development. Okay, do we have iPol on the call? You have Mary Jane, Nkwezi Maleka, Anwar Haliru, Daniel Ogu, Ona Patrick. Ona Patrick is not on the call. Ebube Luis.
Present.
Manasseh Salisu. Manasseh Hanshe.
Present, sir.
Joseph. Okay. Gabriel. TJ.
Present, sir.
Butoy Yusuf. Paul Anau. Ahmad Ibrahim. Lin.
Yes, sir.
Nyam Dong. Nyam. Ifeoluwa. Praise. Nyam. Isaac. Nana Gifts. Precious Tommy.
Present, sir.
Fugon Naik. Derek. You have Derek on the call. Mohammed Zahid.
Present.
Okay. Abbas Itobas.
Present.
Okay. Do we have Annabelle?
Present, sir.
All right. So for the next class, for you to be able to mark this attendance, you have to present us with your UI, UX design portfolio about yourself and your GitHub account and your LinkedIn account. All right. So that's how we will know that you've been present. The real work has actually begun. So we need the best and we want to put in effort to see that you're the best. So please, as we are going, let's keep practicing. Practice your HTML as we anticipate CSS. All right. Thank you so much, guys. Do have a lovely day. Goodbye.
So I don't answer the attendance.
Okay, Mr. Honor Patrick. All right, it's noted.